So I'm sure you're probably wondering what happened to me, why I'm not in medical school at the moment, and also what happened to my hair. So the hair is kind of funny actually because I cut it a while ago thinking that it'll take me less time to get ready, to take a shower before third year of medical school starts, where I'm doing all these rotations, and it will just be easier for me. And I'm not even starting third year, so it's funny how things work out, but I'm still glad that I did it anyway. I promise you, the reason why I'm not in medical school, it's not that eventful, it's not that serious compared to other students who probably have been in my position before. But the challenges that I face, I can say that are probably fairly common. And all I can hope with this is that that other people find a little bit of more peace in knowing that if you're considering taking a pause, taking a step back, wherever you are at in this process, in this profession, or anything, or in anything really, that's okay. Medical school is going to be here long after you're gone. You're going to be constantly making sacrifices throughout your career, and to your community, to your patients. And so if you can find it within yourself to kind of create that self-awareness, develop that skill of knowing like when to stop and when to take a step back, I'm sure that it will be fulfilling to you in your personal relationships, amongst your family and your friendships, to take those moments and prioritize yourself a little bit. It doesn't make you any less of a medical student, doesn't make you any less of a future doctor. This is all in the grand plan of things, and it's on your terms. And essentially that's what's happening with me. I decided to take this year off so that way I can continue through this process on my terms. I oh, Basically how that came about is that I was preparing to take step one, which is a board exam that you take at the end of your second year of medical school. It's essentially, for those of you who don't know, a cumulative exam that accompanies things like immunology, anatomy, pharmacology, and it's an exam that you must take before beginning third year. At least that's the policy at our institution. I'm sure a lot of others places are the same or similar. And you have around like 6 weeks or less, depending on when you schedule it, and to take it, of just pure study time within those 6 weeks. And typically people study on average like 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day. And in my case, I had actually postponed the exam 3 times. And the reason why I did so was because the practice exams I was taking, I was getting nowhere near passing. In fact, our step one year, I guess, was the first class to take it pass no pass. So I would be remiss to say that I wasn't feeling extremely discouraged, because I wasn't even getting anywhere close to passing range, when historically all the classes before me were working on getting really high 3-digit scores. So the fact that I wasn't even close to passing, I did feel a little bit inadequate. And it took me a long time to kind of consolidate and accept that I just might not be ready by the end of this 6 weeks. I can only postpone it so much before third year starts, and I just might not be ready. And so that did take me a little bit of time after talking with my family, talking to the dean, and coming to that conclusion. But ultimately, I knew that I wasn't going to be ready within that time frame. Essentially, the week before the last time I postponed it, I still wasn't in the passing range. I actually was like probably in the 30th percentile, and I knew that I could have, technically, I could have taken the exam. There might have been a possibility that I fail or pass, and either way though, I could at least still start third year. So there was that option. I didn't technically have to take this year-long leave of absence. I could have started, but I chose not to do that. I chose not to do that because I knew that if I failed this exam, that blemish on my profile could impact my ability on getting matched in residency programs in the future. I thought, if I take a little bit of extra time to study for the exam, I can work this in my benefit. I can actually do some research, get published in a few papers, but I also can work on, my personal growth, finding peace in my life, working on developing skills and hobbies that I never really got a chance to because I was so involved in medical school. And I can say that I've been loving it a little bit too much. It's been a few months since I decided to cancel my exam and take the leave of absence. And I'm hoping that this kind of video gives me a little bit of accountability actually, because I'm having actually a lot of difficult time to getting back into studying. But ultimately, that's kind of where I'm coming from, is that I decided to postpone it to kind of work it in my benefit, knowing that the likely outcome based on where I was at was probably gonna lead me to fail the exam. And so I'm gonna probably do some more videos some more updates in terms of like how that process was going through my first dedicated round, because I was journaling or like video journaling throughout that process. But again, I just wanted to do this quick update to share with you all that I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. It's been an adjustment going 1,000 miles a minute to being at home, like thinking like, okay, what do I want to do? There's so much, I'm like, I am having a little bit of an existential crisis now that I'm not a full-blown medical student at the moment, but this is good for me. I'm really grateful that I even have this opportunity for self-reflection and self-growth. So hopefully I can share that a little bit more with you all as this journey goes along. But yeah, I hope this kind of normalizes the conversation of putting yourself first. It's no coincidence that doctors have one of the highest suicide rates. It's no coincidence that we probably, I don't know the data on this, but probably have one of the most highest divorce rates. And I think it kind of starts with how we perceive and treat each other right at the beginning guppy stages in medical school. And I firmly believe that people have their own process of things, have their own pace of things, and it doesn't make you any less of a person. In fact, it helps you grow. And again, like I'm just there wasn't this big thing that happened to me, and there doesn't need to be. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. There isn't this huge life-changing reason why I was not ready. This was just a lot. This was just a lot, and I just wasn't ready, and I need more time. And it's discouraging. Of course it is. Like I didn't want to take the year off, but I'm content, and I feel like this was meant to be at the end of the day. So with that, I wish you all well, and hopefully I can do this again soon, and update you guys with a pass this time on the actual exam. Good luck.